Let's be completely honest, no matter how much disposable income you have, there's a specific type of pain that hits when all of your premium credit card annual fees come due all at once. I am a complete fiend for credit card optimization, and right now I pay over $2,000 in just annual fees. But as a frugal scientist, I don't view these fees as an expense. They're a deliberate math equation. If your goal is to travel luxuriously without draining your savings, you need to understand how to turn your boring everyday expenses into free flights. So today, I'm breaking down exactly what's in my wallet, how I game the point system, and why an expensive card is actually your best bet when things go awry when traveling. First, let's audit the heavy hitters in my wallet and look to see how the math actually works out to offset those high upfront fees. First is the Chase Sapphire Reserve. I've had this card for about 10 years now, and the annual fee is now $795, but it's an absolute workhorse. You get 4x back on flights and 3x back on dining, but the annual fee basically disappears when you think about all the credits. You get a $300 annual credit, a $500 hotel credit, a $300 dining credit, and you also get a $300 StubHub credit, which I honestly didn't think I was going to use, but I actually ended up maxing it out every single time I got it. And in addition to that, I do have the Chase Freedom card, so that way I can accumulate points a lot faster because they have specific 5x categories, so you can accumulate all those points together. Card number 2 is the Amex Gold, and obviously I got it in rose gold. The annual fee is $325, but it's an ultimate everyday engine because it earns 4x back on groceries and restaurants worldwide. And there's a bunch of different credits that you get annually as well. You get $120 annual Uber cash, $120 dining credit at spots like the Cheesecake Factory, which I do go to every single month, and then you also get a $100 Resi credit. So the annual fee is basically wiped out from there. And if you compare the Chase Sapphire Reserve with the Amex Gold, you do get a higher rate of earning on dining with the Amex Gold, but I do prefer to use my Chase Sapphire Reserve because I live in San Francisco and SFO is a United hub, and it's easier for me to transfer Chase points over to United than it is from Amex over to United. And so just for the flexibility of my travel plans, I actually prefer to go with Chase here. And then we have the Big Daddy Amex Platinum. This one is the heaviest hitter of them all for annual fees at $895, and I honestly rarely use this one for everyday spending because the earning categories are so bad. But the credits actually do outweigh the annual fee, and that's why I keep this card around, plus its luxury perks. So every single year you get $200 in Uber cash, a $200 airline incidental credit, $400 in Resi credits, a $300 hotel credit, and $300 digital entertainment credit. And you obviously get the Lululemon credit, but I don't really shop at Lululemon that much, but I do now that I have the Amex Platinum benefit for it. But every single dollar of that fee is structured to go straight back into my pocket. So what is the ultimate goal of tracking all these points, credits, and multipliers? It's the payoff. It's knowing that your random grocery spend on a Tuesday is actually going to be funding your business class seat across the Pacific. Let's look at one of my trips to Asia as a practical case study. There were 3 different flights for it, going from San Francisco to Tokyo, Tokyo to Hong Kong, and Hong Kong back here. I had a very specific date that I needed to travel to Tokyo, and so I didn't really have any adjustment that I could do, and cash tickets were well past $1,000, so I used my Chase points to cover that baseline flight at a clean 1-to-1 ratio. I wouldn't say that that was a very good redemption rate at all, but since I had very specific date that I had to travel, I'm glad that points were able to cover it. But the real optimization in points came on the next legs. I moved 50K Amex points over to Cathay Pacific to book a business class ticket from Tokyo to Hong Kong. That was retailing for $1,800. That means that I got an incredible 3.6 cents per point in value. And for the return trip from Hong Kong back to SFO, I redeemed 110K points over to Delta. And for that, I flew in Delta One, and the cash price was roughly $4,400, which means that I got 4 cents per point in value. And that is how you experience true luxury life on a budget, because you gotta use points. When I'm actually at the destination, the strategy does not stop. I book through Chase's The Edit and Amex's fine hotels and resorts to trigger another $250 to $300 back on my hotel stays. Plus you get free breakfast and room upgrades. There's a lot of good benefits there. And for dining in Tokyo and Hong Kong, I would swipe my Chase Sapphire Reserve or Amex Gold because both of them have 0 foreign transaction fees. And if I'm shopping for clothes abroad, I exclusively use my Amex Platinum because I'm honestly just have a lot of anxiety, but their purchase protection is unmatched if I encounter any issues with sizing or international returns. I've been talking a lot about the benefits, but premium credit cards aren't just about glamorous point redemptions. They are also an economic safety net for when things go completely awry on your travels. If you've ever been stuck in an airport without a backup plan, you know exactly how expensive it can be. This past January, my flight home from Amsterdam got completely canceled due to severe winter weather. Even if you book an award flight using points, as long as you pay the taxes and the fees with your Chase Sapphire Reserve, you are fully covered by their trip delay insurance. Now, credit card insurance is typically handled through third-party providers like Virginia Surety for Chase Sapphire Reserve, and it is secondary insurance. And they were very quick to remind me that it's secondary. So what that means is that first you have to go to the airline to get any credits or reimbursements there, and then they'll cover the rest. So I was stuck in Amsterdam for 3 extra days, and I spent $1,492 on emergency hotels and food for 2 people. Because the points originally got me into a Polaris business class cabin, United did make an exception to their standard rule, and they gave me a reimbursement of $1,200. That left me $292 short. When I submitted the remaining balance to Virginia Surety, they initially denied my claim, stating that they were secondary only, which is sus. So I clearly put on my PhD hat and I showed them all of the data and all of the receipts, and I submitted a formal secondary review, clearly detailing that I was only asking for the remaining partial balance that United didn't actually pay out yet. And 2 weeks of persistent follow-ups later, because I'm annoying, they finally approved it. But without the Chase Sapphire Reserve, I would have been out $1,200 out of pocket because United wouldn't have paid me because I wouldn't have been in Polaris, and then I also wouldn't have gotten the $292 from the Chase Sapphire Reserve travel insurance. If you're on the fence about stepping up to a luxury travel credit card because of the high annual fees, let this be your sign to take the jump. As long as you're diligent about all the credits, your everyday lifestyle will naturally offset the cost and build a massive runway for your next vacation. I want to hear from you. What card is anchoring your wallet right now, and what is your dream point redemption? Drop it in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe for more frugal scientist takes on money, lifestyle, and career. I'll see you in the next one.